everyone. Today, as I mentioned in my last video, I'd like to show you some of my paintings that I've done. I started back to painting in 2020 during COVID, during the first lockdown. I hadn't painted in, oh gosh, it must have been 20 years. Okay, I'd like to start here. This is, I do a lot of different paintings, you know. I get a lot of my reference photos. I like to paint from a reference, not always, but I do like to. I prefer it a bit. I get my reference photos from Unsplash and Pixabay, and sometimes I do see a photo, but like I'm not selling it, so I don't feel too bad painting it for practice. If there's a Facebook group called Free Reference Photos for Artists, and they always have great photos. So I love to do animals because, I mean, who doesn't like cute little animals? And, you know, you can capture their expression a little bit. I don't know, humans kind of hide their expression and they often pose for pictures, but animals don't. They're just so genuine. So they're kind of fun to paint. And this is where I was just practicing some of my layering techniques that we've discussed in earlier videos. Here I was playing with shimmery paints, which I will introduce you to as well, because I just love them. I think they're fun. Here I traced a leaf that fell off a tree nearby, and I just kind of stamped around it, and then I practiced charging in different colors. Charging means when your paint's wet and you add another color and it sort of like spreads itself through. That's charging. And then this cute little piggy. Look at that little guy. Gal. So cute. These are my little barn animals. I have a cow somewhere too. I just don't know. There she is. Kind of cute. So some of these pictures, this came from a tutorial that I did a couple of years back online. She's a fantastic painter. I know her first name is Sharon. I can't remember her last. I'm sorry. If I find it, I will link it down below. And then I gradually got to doing larger paintings early this year because I don't know. They're just challenging, and I love to add my own. Like, this isn't exactly what the photo looked like. So often what I do is I take a photo or I take 3 different reference photos and I kind of combine them, because sometimes I can't envision the flower, say, in my head. So I look for something and then I get not necessarily the color, but the shading idea and stuff. And look at that, that takes up the whole page. And this one I did, and along with the wolf, I did it standing up because I was trying to go for less detail and more sort of fluid movements and allowing the paint to kind of tell me where it wanted to go. And I think it turned out good. This was supposed to be a wolf, but I find it looks a little too friendly, so I'm going with a husky. And some of my better portraits here. This one I'm quite proud of. I love this woman, is beautiful. Don't know who she is. I got her picture off the internet somewhere. And I changed it up. Like, it doesn't look like the woman in the picture at all. And that's not because I didn't try. It's just I hand sketched it. There's a special trick I have to show you in a video coming up. If you tell me if you want to know how to paint animals, or if you'd prefer to paint portraits, you just let me know, and I'm going to show you this trick. It's free to download this app, and I'm going to show you this trick how to get the image onto your paper, and it's pretty close to what you're trying. But anyway, this woman's hair, she had like a long kind of afro. I'm not sure if that's what you would call it, but very curly hair. But I didn't want to do every single strand, and she had all kinds of beautiful colors in it. So I used some salt to get some highlights, and I used some squiggly darker colors, and I don't know, I just think this one turned out great. And this is a beauty in my life. Sometimes I take my own pictures, and there's another beauty in my life. And then there's another. They're good to practice on. And this one also came from something on the internet, and I'm not sure how I feel about her, but it's practice, right? It's just practice. Here I have some negative painting. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but that's when you create a shape by painting around it before it even exists. So you can use, like, to start off, you can use a pencil drawing and then paint around it, and then you draw out others and paint around that. And we will do this one day together, but I was quite proud of this. It was fun. And then I did this wild one shortly thereafter. This is wild. I love it. Very colorful. And I did this one. This is more muted. These are like kind of like daisies or something. And it's very loose, I would say. There's no detail. And so I made these branches kind of like exist. They weren't there. I didn't draw them in. I painted around them in order for them to be seen. And this is one of the first paintings I did in March of 2020. I was just playing with bleeding, and then I discovered, oh, this kind of looks like boulders. And I know that these aren't not realistic looking boulders. So then I thought, well, so then I painted this lighthouse, which I don't know, it's not a very great painting, but it kind of turned out. I did this over a period of every time I left it out, and every time I went back to it, I added to it. And I don't know, I just thought it was worth keeping. This is something too I'd like to do with you guys, is to just intuitively paint. Just put color down, let it bleed into each other. And this is a really beautiful card cover. You can use metallic paints too. This isn't on the best paper, and I didn't. This is just like I wanted to see what colors looked good together for a specific painting I was doing. But I would like to do some of that with you. And this is also quite a loose painting. It's a floral. And I think most people would like to learn how to paint in detail. I think painting in detail teaches you to pay attention to the detail, to the lights, to the darks. And then once you learn that, and you want to loosen up so that you can use watercolor the way it's meant to be used, I really believe, like, there's no other paint that'll make these beautiful cauliflowers, and it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I think first learn how to paint more detailed, and then you can branch out. Although this looks like you don't have to know how to paint detail, but it helps because you'll know where to put the darker colors. And so anyway, that's a nice loose one I did. And there are lots that I'm not going to bother to show you everything I did. But I do want to show you how detailed you can get while being loose with your paint, like kind of having fun with it. And this one as well. I belong to an art group called Creative Oasis. It's on Facebook. And they used to post challenges. Now I know the moderator, I think he's called. Maybe he's not a moderator. He's an admin. He started the group. He used to post challenges, but I know he's super busy with work. And so now, see, this is a little dish I have in my house. And these two, I don't eat artichokes. So this came from a picture and that came from a picture. So I kind of combined it and made it look like it was all sitting together on a table. And loved doing that. And this is super detailed. I was practicing doing tiny little details. Some of it I liked how it turned out, and the rest of it I find it a little bit overworked, but good practice. This is on Canson. So as I've said before, on the cheaper paper, it's a bit hard to get your shading, your blending very smooth, but I thought that succulent turned out pretty good. And this one I practiced removing paint to make so the roots of this plant show up and here. And I just loved how this turned out. That too, I went by the seat of my pants, or flying by the seat of my pants. Is that the expression? I just wanted to make, that's, you know, that's a sunflower, even though it doesn't look like a real sunflower. But I really worked hard on trying to give the impression of a leaf instead of actually painting a leaf right out. And this too, you know what I did with this? There was no photo, so I took what do you call that? Masking tape. And I just stuck it on. I ripped it and I stuck it on in these shapes here. That's why it does not look like a perfect flower. And so since that was all covered with the masking, I went to town. I went to town with color, and there was salt, and then I was splashing different colored paints on it. And then when that all dried, I took the masking tape off, and then I painted all this, like it was fuchsia and red and purple. And I thought that this turned out quite fun as well. And this little guy, I used plastic wrap for the elephant's trunk. I just love that, the look of the plastic wrap. I'll show you a few things I did with that, like this flamingo, the mom and baby, so cute. I did that, the rock that she's sitting on. I did that with plastic wrap. Sorry, I'm not supposed to use names, you know, product names, brand names. Sorry, I'm trying to get a bit more light. So this is little cute little deer. The salt, I use salt to get the, you know, the little white flecks on a deer's back. And that little cute little piggy, I can't remember. There's more little farm animals. Oh, here I used the saran for this one. Beautiful. I really like how that turned out. Mom and baby. I was on a roll. Whoopsie. Painting moms and baby animals. And a fox and another fox. That was a tutorial online too. This was just a photo that I added my own shading, and quite proud of that one. I don't know why it's sitting in a pile. This was from the Frugal Crafter. She's on YouTube as well. So, and that was her drawing. And this is just from Unsplash, I believe, this parrot. And then I just went to town in the back. I wanted the bird to look like it was in the tree, and looking kind of like the tree. You know, kind of disappeared into the background. And this guy, yeah, proud of him. He's a beaut. This one, I don't know, it's a hit or miss. I don't know. The bird is well done in the branch. Do not like the background whatsoever, but somebody might. Yeah, this little beautiful owl too. This too was something out of my imagination. I love succulents. I don't know what it is. I like something alive to come out of something that looks dead, you know, like rocks and sand. And so I just love that look. And I used some shimmering paints too. Oh yeah, these pictures are off I think from Pinterest. I didn't use the exact picture. I used the kitten from it. And this one too. Oh, can you see okay? Sorry. And this cat, I took a white cat and I wanted to practice shading with different colors. So I thought that turned out rather well. And the highlights on this dog, I actually used blue. It's interesting the colors you see while you're painting. This too was out of my imagination. So I used saran for the rocks here. And then I just put in some different colors, and then I just suggested leaves. I didn't outright paint leaves, and shaded the flower, and I was quite happy with the way that turned out. The same with that one. I took it from several photos actually, and Went to town with the background, had a good time doing that one. That was a challenge from that Facebook group. And this is a cute little guy. Oh God, these puffins are adorable. But I was quite happy with you used a few techniques in this one too that I'd like to teach you. And this is a practice painting for, it's from a tutorial, but I painted something a little bit different and I gave it as a gift to some close friends. So painting is kind of nice. You give gifts, and they were absolutely thrilled to receive this painting. I was, you're always a little nervous when you give your artwork to somebody, but they were just thrilled. And sometimes, whoops, I do some work that I don't know if I like it or not. Like there's parts of this that I love. The succulent part here, I just love it. The flower, not so much. And the back, I tried to make it look like there was a stone wall behind it. I don't know, it just didn't come out, but I left it taped down to my board, as you can see, because I can come back to this anytime I want and keep working on it. That's the beauty of watercolor. So that's about it for now. I can't show you much more than that now, but I hope you like some of my work, and if you're interested in letting me know what you would like to learn, I'm game. I mean, I'd be thrilled to teach you whatever it is you'd like to know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy watercoloring. Bye-bye.